Bungie just called the end of Destiny 2 a new beginning. Bungie put on the final live service content update. Apparently, that is supposed to sound hopeful. No, this is not a server shutdown announcement. Careful, nobody should claim the game is being deleted. Still, let's be real about what this means. After that update, Destiny 2 stays playable, but the regular live service future is ending. Meaning, nobody is losing access overnight, and that detail matters. Stillness is not the same as life, though. Playable does not mean growing. Archive does not mean future. Translation: lights stay on. Party ends. Players spent years hearing that weapons could go away, planets could disappear, campaigns could get removed, raids could be taken off the board. Future itself now feels like old content. Somehow, Bungie saved the biggest sunset for last. Honestly, you almost have to respect the consistency. Almost. Maybe that sounds harsh, but come on. Remember, this is the same company that trained players to accept loss as part of the product. That's the problem. Since now the loss is not some gun in a vault. Today, it is not some destination getting removed. Here it is not another "we hear your feedback" moment. What you are looking at is the live service future of Destiny getting put in the vault. Viewers do not need a business degree to understand that. Veterans can feel the difference between maintenance and momentum. Silence after years of weekly noise feels loud. Look at the branding for a second. Corporations love calling and ending a transition because transition sounds less like a door slamming. Fine, thank the Guardians. Mention the stars. Talk about memories. Say the journey continues. Cool, nice words. Underneath, the message is still blunt. Returning players are being welcomed back right after everyone gets told there is nowhere new to return to. Come on. Framing that like a beautiful handoff is insane. Hold on, because this part matters. Calling this a new beginning might sound nice in a blog post. To players, it sounds like a locked door with motivational quotes taped on it. Credit where due, Bungie gets 1 point. 9 years for a live service shooter is a real run. Developers worked hard on this game. Absolutely, the raids, music, art, gunplay, and world building meant something. Plenty of it was great. Yet great things existing does not erase the mess around them. Also, players are not angry because one blog post made them forget every good memory. Nope, they are angry because the blog post gave old frustration a date. Quick pause. Anyone who played this game for years has at least one moment they remember. Those raid clears, late night wipes, clutch revives, tower talks, and stupid jokes with friends mattered. Suddenly, the memory of the game is fighting the reality of the company. So when the business side walks in and talks like this is just a clean transition, it feels wrong. Stick around for the Destiny 3 part, because what is not in Bungie's blog post may be more important than what is. Reportedly, Destiny 3 has not been greenlit. Important distinction. Notice the word reportedly. Don't twist that into Bungie officially announcing Destiny 3 is dead. They did not. However, reports say Bungie is focusing on Marathon. But corporate giants do not just close doors without opening a window for your wallet. Right now, that window is shaped exactly like Marathon. Conveniently, the new door opens right when the old house gets quiet. Naturally, people start asking who picked the floor plan. Immediately you can hear the community doing the math. Fancy Destiny ending. Replacement moves forward. Dread appears right there. Did Destiny die for this? Congratulations, Marathon instantly became the punching bag. Yes, that joke is mean. Sadly, the situation is meaner. Rather than feeling like a fresh new project, Marathon now feels like the game standing next to the wreckage. Review pages turned into protest boards. Negative reviews were not only about Marathon's gameplay. Pause the video there. Reason being, when people review a game they are not really reviewing, something else is happening. Basically, people were reviewing a funeral. Someone might say that is unfair. Fairly, Marathon players did not personally cancel Destiny 2's future. Their game does not deserve to be buried under rage from people who may not even care about it. I get what they're saying, but the backlash did not come from nowhere. Studio leadership created the emotional pipeline that sent that anger straight into Marathon's front yard. You can't have it both ways. Companies cannot sell emotional investment for years, then act confused when emotional people react emotionally. Every season asks players to believe again. Each expansion asks players to trust again. Whenever things get rough, the message is the same. Be patient. Believe us. Next time we'll fix it. Later, the next project shows up. Abruptly, the old community is supposed to be mature about feeling replaced. Please. This is where it falls apart. Official wording wants to sound hopeful. Business reality feels like a door closing. Admittedly, Bungie can say Destiny will live beyond Destiny 2. Okay, what does that mean to the player who wanted Destiny 3? Exactly. It sounds like fog. Vague hope is not a roadmap. Scary part is not that Marathon might fail. Worse, Bungie's next big bet now has years of Destiny frustration attached to it. While the internet fights over review scores, there is a human cost that does not show up cleanly in a blog post. Layoff reports need to be handled carefully. Nobody should joke about workers losing jobs. Clearly, developers are not the villains. Leadership decisions deserve heat. Shifting priorities deserve heat. Bad strategy deserves heat. Corporate messaging deserves heat. Actual workers are usually the ones stuck paying for the chaos. Rank and file teams carry the stress while polished statements carry the blame poorly. Human cost gets buried under brand language way too fast. Deep breath, let that sit for a second. Supporters lose the future they expected. Workers may lose stability. Executives lose what? Perhaps a slightly smaller yacht. Anyway, back to the spreadsheet. People get cynical when pain keeps rolling downhill. Before we get to Sony, understand the connection. Public anger is not floating in space. Audience rage meets corporate pressure right here. Mourners see one ending. Owners see another spreadsheet. If you think the human cost is messy, look at the receipt Sony is holding. Given Sony did not pay billions for a closed mine. Numbers do not cry, but they explain why the room feels colder. Shareholders do not mourn raids, but they notice shrinking bets. Besides, if you think the community is mad, wait until you imagine the math Sony is doing right now. Earlier, I mentioned the receipt. Yeah, that means Sony. Sony bought Bungie for live service expertise. Expertise, sit with that word for a second. Billions did not buy a museum. PlayStation did not pay for old screenshots and nostalgia tours. Purchase was for a gold mine. Seller just handed them a shovel and a closed sign. Imagine buying the expert chef, then watching the kitchen catch fire. Publicly, the lesson looks brutal. Again, maybe Marathon becomes good. Eventually, it might find an audience. Possibly, the anger cools off. Hopefully, people separate the game from the corporate strategy around it. Unfortunately, Bungie put that game in a terrible position. Perception matters. Timing matters. Credibility matters. Once players believe their game was sacrificed for another project, facts alone do not clean that up. Correction. That does not mean every angry review is fair. Likewise, that does not mean every conspiracy is true. Furthermore, that does not mean workers deserve harassment. Nevertheless, it does mean the anger has a source. Pretending otherwise is fake. Performative calm is still performative. Some people want to act like the mature take is to shrug and say all games end. Surely, all games do end. Difference matters. Unlike a normal box on a shelf, Destiny was sold as something alive. Living world was the pitch. When that world stops living, people react like something died. Dramatic. Alright, online communities are dramatic. Even then, the business model encouraged that drama every step of the way. Seasonal urgency encouraged it. Limited content encouraged it. Fear of missing out encouraged it. Emotional trailers encouraged it. Community rituals encouraged it. Now suddenly, the emotion is inconvenient. Seriously. Rage like this is not random. Bills always come due. Main problem is not that people misunderstand every detail. Pattern is what people understand too well. Vaulting happened. Sunsetting happened. Monetization complaints happened. Content droughts happened. Apology posts happened. Roadmaps happened. Promises happened. We did not just watch a game change. Everyone watched a relationship sour in real time. Over time, the community stops hearing promises and starts hearing sales language. Afterward, every sentence gets read like a trick. Question for everyone watching this. At what point did you realize you were not reading a roadmap anymore? Where did it start sounding like a sales brochure? From there, trust really starts dying. Of course, YouTube is going to feast on this. Thumbnails are probably being made right now with Bungie logos on fire. One creator is absolutely typing D8 in all caps. Another one is warming up the I told you so video. Frankly, I do not even blame them. Saga has everything. Beloved game, angry fanbase, controversial new project, heavy corporate messaging, reported layoffs, massive uncertainty over the sequel people wanted. Best version of this story is not just Bungie bad. Easy angle is too easy. Lazy. Real story is uglier. Doubt became part of the product. Consequently, that distrust has come home. Single announcement did not kill Destiny 2. Years of trust kept getting spent. Old wounds kept getting reopened. New promises kept getting sold. Player patience kept getting tested. Loyalty kept getting treated like fuel. Frustration kept building under the surface. Love for the game kept people coming back anyway. Finally, it reached the point where Bungie said new beginning and the community heard goodbye. Really, that is the whole disaster. Beautiful farewell letters do not change the sentence underneath. Audiences are still going to read it. As a live service future, Destiny 2 is done. Sequel is reportedly not coming yet. Marathon is catching the blame. Confidence is in the ground. Unless Bungie figures out how to resurrect that, the next game is not launching into hype. Instead, it is launching into suspicion. Then, it is launching into resentment. Picture a room full of people pausing the trailer every 5 seconds and asking one question. Ultimately, that is why this story sticks. Because the question underneath really never stops bothering enough people. Was Destiny killed for this?